Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Now look here at SUI, see what's going on. Wow, this is an interesting chart. Actually, the whole entire market's very interesting. Bitcoin ramped up to like 72K roughly, pulled back down to 69, and now it's back up to 70. So that's why we're seeing this funky price action. Truth is, this bullish rectangle, again, never guaranteed for patterns. It essentially did not play out. It actually broke to the downside with a potential shift in momentum here. Now, again, the price broke down, continued lower, was supposed to come down as low as about that 187, 190, only came down to about 192 and continued higher. So that's a good sign. This is all awesome stuff. So we'll go ahead and remove some of these potential playouts and go ahead and see what's up with the new consideration here. Because again, when we look at the price action here, it's generally not good, but the recovery and the instant uptick in price action here as soon as Bitcoin sold off and kind of bottomed out leads me to believe SUI is more likely to increase than decrease at this point. So again, it's looking pretty strong in the overall sense, but we're going to verify and confirm a few factors first and just kind of see where we're at. So I do want to start with saying thanks again, as per usual, for everyone. The SUI community is super awesome, very non-toxic. I appreciate you. Thanks for always hitting the like button, getting a lot of views on these views here, or these videos rather. I really appreciate it. It helps kind of grow the channel and just gets us in front of more people, because it's frustrating to hear other moon boys destroying people's accounts because they just say everything's going to go up all the time. While I'll say it goes down, not to take it long, and the price goes up instantly. That does happen sometimes. The truth is, I'm always going to recommend best practice, and even if we miss opportunities, it's still the right call to not take a bad opportunity than to try to jump into a bad one, if that makes sense. Okay, so anyways, the whole point of me mentioning that is I'm just super thankful. Thank you so much again for being awesome. Let's take a quick look at SUI and double check. 210 to 220 is that heavy concentration liquidation on the upside. Pretty distinct chance it's going to get here soon because we're trending closer to it. However, there's still some liquidation on the downside as well. So we can't be naive and overlook the fact that there's a pretty big gaping hole down here about 160 and lower, but that's a long ways away. Generally, the liquidation that's closer is going to be hit first. That's just kind of the concept. Again, it needs to be taken with a grain of salt, because once more, there's a lot of other factors in place. For example, like Bitcoin, a lot of confirming factors at 73,000, Bitcoin is going to go to the moon, as a lot of people were saying. When truth is, we were taking a short trade with Bitcoin, and we had a lot of success here. Look at this, good 36% for a Bitcoin short, near protocol short 32%, and Solana 28% to the downside. So those all worked out favorably, mainly because we looked at everything, not just the charts. And a lot of what was telling us that reversal was coming is the liquidation delta. It's a very powerful tool, and people keep asking me to try to explain it, so I'll try to just give you the bumper sticker version. When the delta is too high or low for too long, the price action will typically reverse itself and come back in the opposite direction. It's not a guarantee. Obviously, bearish divergences and trends have to factor in. The overall trend right now is sideways and down, so the truth is these shorts in play are probably likely to have a good amount of success. We got about $1 billion worth of liquidation delta spread across 3 exchanges here, right? So we got, or no, this is just one exchange here for this chart. So the truth is, it's a small perception of what's going on. But with this being a pretty high amount for over almost coming up on 2 days now, it leads me to believe that people are going to want to buy more because they view it as a good value. And even better, the whales, the market makers, they see that there's a ton of liquidation in the opposite direction, and they're going to just go ahead and destroy those shorts. So I think we're probably more likely to see the price break up than down based on that sentiment. But again, we want to look at other things too here as well, and generally compare this with Bitcoin. How's this coin performing with Bitcoin and or concurrent with it? We take a look here. We can see Bitcoin is kind of trying to break 70K after closing down below, or essentially, holding down below that level for some time here. We have a significant bearish divergence for Bitcoin. It's not looking like it wants to recover, but we have certain contributing factors letting us know that we're in decent shape in this $69,000 range. Having said that, though, if Bitcoin can maintain this range, then I think SUI will probably catapult and continue higher. Because if you look at this, we kind of got the standard power of 3 pattern, where the price action is working itself into this range here, could come up, and then, of course, pull way back. So my speculation is that we are probably seeing Bitcoin likely to continue higher up before it pulls back. But again, a lot of different situations can occur here. So the truth is SUI is outperforming Bitcoin, because if you do look at this most recent increase, it's responded extremely well to Bitcoin pulling back. Okay, so there's that as well. Either way, I know I'm speaking in circles, but generally speaking, the concept here remains true that SUI is a very strong coin, and that betting against it is a bad idea. You're better off waiting to find a better opportunity potentially. So what we want to look at here, first of all, on the daily time frame is just a couple of important factors. First of all, we've broken this descending trend line. It's common for that descending trend line to be back tested, which we're kind of seeing here. We could even come down a little bit lower to fill that fair value gap as low as 180, 190. But at this point, the bottom feels like it's in. And the reason why I say it feels like it's in is just how well it responded to Bitcoin's sell-off here today, okay? A lot of times you want to zoom into like the 15-minute chart. We can take a peek at that, as a matter of fact, and kind of see how the response is to certain pullbacks or increases from Bitcoin. And a lot of times when you understand that comparison, things get a lot easier to recognize in the overall sense, at least the trend itself. Okay, so let's take a look here. First of all, to preface, Bitcoin's trend on the macro is still bullish, right? So if we look at that and we compare that with this trend here, we can see we're over 50 on the RSI. We're looking pretty solid. There's a lot of reasons why SUI, even though it could pull back a little bit more, shouldn't pull back tremendously further because we got a lot of support below the price. Money flow index is increasing. That's starting to shift its gears, which is good. And we can see our MACD is converging as well. A lot of positive signs here, okay? Again, that's not like phenomenal or perfect. We're still underneath the 20-day SMA so far for today, and that can be generally construed as disadvantageous, but the general consensus here to me is that we are still looking pretty decent. Keep in mind there is a fair value gap here as low as about that 178 to 190. So basically just say 190 to 180 as a close approximate. We could see the price wick down as low as that. That would require Bitcoin to run towards 68,500, which is its current golden pocket slash key fib level. So me personally, right now, with things as is the way they are, I personally think that SUI should be able to maintain this range and continue higher. But we got to see how it holds today here. In other words, $2 is an important level that's either been a support, which we saw previously, or a resistance. Now we take a look at this here. So far, it's working pretty good as a resistance. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 4-hour candles, basically a 24-hour period of the price action not being able to close above that level. Now, granted, it's still very early. This candlestick is halfway open, so there's a lot of factors you got to kind of consider. But the truth is, closing above $2 today, I think, would be a very strong confirming factor for us. And that's generally what I like to look for. I like to look for daily candlestick closures in certain areas to give us confirmation in either direction. It's never an exact science, but it is definitely something that factors in here. We take a look here, of course, we can see the local point of control is right at that $198 to $2 range too. That reaffirms that resistance level for us. So once more, I think it would be extremely important to close above $2. We do see this here as well with this 20-day SMA. It's hanging above that level too. So once more, a full-on closure at $2 or higher would really just help us out. Take a look here though. This is another bullish confirming factor. We're back up above, didn't spend much time at all below 50 on the RSI. That runs concurrent in a lot of ways with that $198 to $2 range. So really, that's a very good confirming factor here, kind of letting us know that we're above support. Again, there's a lot of different potential playouts here, but the way that things are working out, and this could even be a situation where we're seeing a bull flag as well, for a really nasty or ugly cup and handle. Okay, again, patterns, folks, anytime I draw out a pattern, don't focus on it too much. It's not like an exact science, but patterns should be used in combination with confirming factors. So what I'll do is I'll post our playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord if you're not familiar. It looks a little something like this, where I just kind of give you indications of my thoughts on specific coins and what I think they're going to be doing. The overall trend here, let's go ahead and look at the hourly. This is a good confirming thing that I like to look for here. And this kind of reaffirms and reiterates what I've been talking about here. So let's remove a couple of things here just so we can kind of see a little clearer. And basically what we're looking at here, first of all, is the Ichimoku cloud. We're below the cloud for the moment, but once more, it's choppy. So you want to wait for confirmation, maybe I'd say no less than 2 or 3 hours above or below the cloud to give you confirmation of what direction the trend is heading. Right now, we got the conversion line and the baseline are intersecting. That tells us generally not a favorable trade scenario. The lagging span is trying to break free from the price action. So once again, we're more likely than not going to see that emergence, that positive contributing factor if we close at $2 or higher today. But we need to be able to maintain $2 today or higher to let us know that that's an area of support. Okay. So again, that's why small time frame confirmations don't work as much as bigger ones, which is all the more reason why I feel, again, I sound like a broken record here, but $2 or higher on the daily candlestick would essentially give us that confirmation. Because this lower fair value gap has been filled in smaller timeframes. We have a smaller one upwards of 205. So my money is on taking it along at $2 or higher if we can close above that today. So that'll be definitely something I'm considering. I just want to, recommending being patient at this point because Bitcoin is jumping all over the place. But if we do take a look at this here, just to clarify, you look at the 15-minute time frame for SUI and Bitcoin, SUI is recovering tremendously stronger than Bitcoin is. And while it is pulling back decently well, it's not quite as significant either, okay? So again, I know it seems kind of rhetorical that I'm mentioning this, but I just like to kind of cover all angles there. So I'll post a playout chart here on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Sorry if today's analysis was kind of confusing. It's what happens when there's not a lot of confirming factors. We've got, honestly, we're at this little precipice of like greatness or disaster. You know, like I don't really think we're gonna, see a tremendous drop, but if Bitcoin makes a run towards, sub 69K, SUI will have a pretty bad day. There's no doubt about that. So maybe consider a limit order at the 190 to 180 range as a possibility. And then, of course, between now and then, if Bitcoin holds, I think SUI could take off. But I'm going to speculate here that SUI is more likely to increase than decrease. All right. Okay, folks. Thanks again so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button. Oh, don't forget this either. This is awesome stuff. Check this out here. We've already got 15 million in trading volume. All we need is 500 million. So the truth is, we're looking pretty solid to be able to hit that $60,000 prize pool. So if you haven't already used my link to register, link down below for that. Awesome rewards here for Bitunix, link down below. They are an amazing exchange that we've been using for over a year as a community. No KYC or VPN. And again, if you've used my link to register, you're automatically eligible here. We've got over 700 traders in here, so you're good to go. All right, thanks, folks. Look forward to seeing the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.